Fantasy football is back. We are going full force, and I've got a massive episode here for you guys. We're talking top 10 fantasy football rookies 2022. Yes, dynasty rankings for rookies. Now, I'm super excited about this episode because these rookies, the ones I've handpicked here, I feel have the most upside based on talent, opportunity, depth charts. This is a huge episode. We're talking rookie sleepers. We're talking top 10 fantasy football rookies. We're talking fantasy football rookie breakouts. Everything here in this top 10 list because these are the rookies you got to target. And I'm giving it away for free. Yes, massive value in this episode. I've done the research for you. Now, with rookies, there's so much uncertainty, right? Which one's going to break out? But I've done the digging for you. So I've looked at who's throwing the ball if it's a wide receiver. I looked at the running back, okay? I've looked at these players, and I feel these guys for fantasy relevance do have and will have some impact. So I'm excited to dive into this show, guys. A ton of value today on this Monday as we are going full flow into fantasy football season here as we are sitting now in early May. It's been fantasy football season all year round. If you are subscribed to the channel, we go hard, we go strong, and we stray away from the consensus ranking. So if you are new to the channel, click that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. In the comments below, want to make it interactive. If you are watching here on YouTube, if you're in the car, head on over to YouTube, click subscribe there. Click subscribe there on YouTube, guys, right now. And comment below. Let me know which rookies you like. I want to make this super interactive, guys. And I love community. I love everything about fantasy football. And guys, I'm telling you, this is the year. If you're new to the channel, you will crush it. Now, if you are returning, welcome back. Get that 16-round draft solution. I'm going to put all of these rookies in the 16-round draft solution, tell you where to draft them optimal at each position. I'll tell you where to draft these guys, where to draft other players, and have that optimal roster, all in video training notes, everything delivered to you guys. 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below. Head on over to thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. Get the solution, guys, now. I'm super excited. I'm ready to dive into this top 10 list with rookies, dive into why I believe these guys are amazing talent and why they could be relevant. Now, outside of this list of top 10, there's a ton of other running backs that could emerge, like Zamir White from the Raiders. I think Jacob's still going to be a factor there. We've got, who else do we got here? We've got, I don't think this is a bit of a reach, but Pierre Strong, New England Patriots, drafted him in the fourth round there. There's so many other guys here that I'm looking at that could really break out that just were not included in this list. Okay, so I want to make that a point. Now, some people saying wide receiver David Bell, third round pick from the Browns, he could break out. There's so many of them, guys, but these are the ones I like. Jameson Williams, round 1 pick, Detroit Lions. I still think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be the guy there, but you never know. So I'm going to go through my 10 here, and then you guys can leave a comment below with who you think is going to break out. All right, guys? So let's start off with the first one. Let's dive in without further ado. First one is Breece Hall. Now, you look at dynasty rankings for everybody. He is number 1 on everybody's list. Now, there's a chance that the guys I mentioned here below him are going to emerge ahead of him. Very, very possible. But Breece Hall, based on talent, based on opportunity, could really shine. The only knock I have to Breece Hall right now is the team that he's on because he's the Jets, right? Now, if you look at their top running back last year, you know, Michael Carter, he had around 147 attempts mixed in with a bunch of bottom feeders. They don't run the ball a lot, okay? And the fact is Michael Carter's still there. That's the big problem here. So are they shelving Michael Carter and saying, hey, we need a full integration of a run system with the best running back on the board, talent-wise, which is Breece Hall, and they're just going to run him 250-plus attempts, and they work the ground game. Are they going to do that? Who knows? They got Garrett Wilson first round, okay, at Ohio State, wide receiver, tons of talent there, 6-foot receiver. Now they've got an opportunity to spread the ball around, right? Elijah Moore is there. They got, they're going to spread it out. They're going to open things up for Breece Hall. Is he going to be integrated in their run game? Is he going to be the running back? Is he going to be a workhorse running back? So you can gamble on that and draft him in and around. I'm doing mock drafts. He's coming out as early as round 3. You could take that gamble. And now if you want to wait, maybe your league mates are sleeping on him. You might get him around 4 or 5. It depends, right? So there's some variances. And I explain all of this in the 16-round draft solution. If you've not got it, it is the game changer, okay? This is not your consensus rankings. This will actually help you guys win your draft. So Breece Hall, I'm looking at him. I'm thinking like, hey, man, I'm seeing a guy that could get that full workhorse volume. That's what I'm seeing. The talent is there. The speed and power and vision is there. That's important. It was a round 2 pick, so the high draft capital is there from the Jets. 6'1", 220, right? Last year in college, 253 attempts, 1,472 yards, 20 touchdowns. He is that workhorse guy. Watch tape on him. Ultra explosive. He's got all of the variables, right? All of the skill set, right, that you need in a workhorse running back. Again, I like him as an RB3 as part of a robust RB strategy, if you are drafting, because there's a ton of depth at wide receivers. You can wait at wide receiver. And as you get to see some of these rookies, there's a ton of depth at wide receiver. Breece Hall, again, if you want him, he could be your RB3 the way the ADPs are. Now, his ADP could shoot up. You could hear that the Jets announced that he's the workhorse running back. You start seeing some film on him in training camp. Everybody jumps on him. His ADP rises up. And then he's a second-round pick, right? But I still think you can get him in the 3rd round and after, and I definitely like the talent and value, and I'm willing to roll the dice on him personally. It's up to you guys if you guys are, okay? Second guy here, and again, I put these guys in top 10, but maybe the guy in the 7th I kind of like more than the second guy, right? But I'm just laying it out on potential upside. It is some sort of order, but at the end of the day with rookies, it's all a crapshoot. So anybody ranking them doesn't really know, and I'm being straight with you guys. Do I know 100%? No. What I do know is, in that order that is, do I know that, Breece Hall is going to beat, Treylon Burks in fantasy points? I don't know. Nobody knows that. But I'm just putting it in on opportunity, talent, and where, I think the upside is there. Now, the second guy here, there is some hindrance. The guy I'm talking about is Kenneth Walker. I think maybe Treylon Burks finishes ahead of Kenneth Walker, which we'll get into in a second. But I put Kenneth Walker here in second because I like the talent, right? And running backs are so scarce, and he could really shine. So number 2 here is Kenneth Walker, running back, Seattle Seahawks, now out of Michigan State. Now, why do I like this guy so much? Because Carson's coming off neck surgery. Rashad Penny's had years to wow us. We're not wowed. He was a workhorse in college. I mean, the guy had 1,636 yards, 18 touchdowns, right? He can catch the ball. He had 13 receptions for 89 yards last year and a touchdown. 1,725 scrimmage yards last year, over 250 plus attempts. This guy gets it done. Watch tape on him. Kenneth Walker is very crafty, shifts very well, cuts very well, great vision, right? Ability to change direction was very well on him. Does that very well. Top end speed was not it doesn't seem as explosive as a Breece Hall, but I do like Kenneth Walker. I think the talent is there. I think the opportunity will be there. Now, understand, guys, the quarterback situation is a little messy. I don't even know who's starting. Is it going to be Drew Lock? I don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation there at all. But I will tell you this. Russell Wilson ran the ball a lot. So that's a big concern when you're looking at a guy losing potential rushing yards to a quarterback. So I'm looking at it here. I've got, I don't know. I think Drew Lock may get the start. They've got Metcalf Lockett still there. In regards to the committee there, Chris Carson coming off that neck surgery. I think they invested in him high because they believe in him. I think that they want that true workhorse running back. They never got it with the injury-prone Chris Carson. Rashad Penny, years to wow us. We're not wowed. I mean, investing a second-round pick in a guy a running back when they have that positions covered, right? When you look at Penny, it's just I don't believe they believe in Penny. So I really believe Walker could get an opportunity if Chris Carson proves that he is just not ready to get back into it to 100%. I don't even know if he's going to recover to be that 100% Chris Carson that we saw from years ago. So Kenneth Walker, tons of upside, tons of opportunity, tons of talent, and a guy that could really emerge as a rookie. Now, you can get this guy for value, sitting 33rd on the consensus rankings. So he's coming off after the 5th, 6th round. He's value. I'm telling you, he is value. Now, as I'm preparing 16-round draft solution, I did a bunch of mock drafts. And yeah, you can get this guy. I've actually got him listed coming off in the 7th here. So you might be able to snipe him. I mean, some people might not even draft him. They might not know who he is, or they might be focused on Rashad Penny or something like that. That's fine. Let that distraction be there. But when reports are coming out that Kenneth Walker is getting more volume, if you're drafting early, he could be a great stash as your RB5, RB4, RB5 on your roster with RB1 upside. So Kenneth Walker is the other guy I like here as a rookie. This is a deep dive, guys. Sit back, relax. This is really vital information that your league mates won't know. So this is very, very important. You guys are getting the edge just here in this video. If this is making sense to you, resonating with you, make sure you guys do get the 16-round draft solution. Subscribe if you are watching this and you are not subscribed. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm all about you guys winning your leagues. It's very important. That's why I created a solution, 16 rounds, that's actually going to help you guys crush your leagues, okay? Forget the cookie cutter rankings. That's what everybody's doing to play it safe. You're taking last year's top finishers, telling you to draft them in that order. It's not how it works because these rookies could easily slide in. I'm telling you, like last year, Amon St. Brown, Jamar Chase, all these guys are being slept on. Najee Harris outside the top 10 on all the rankings. I told you Najee was going to get the volume because I saw the opportunity, saw the depth chart, saw the talent, saw everything. And then you guys were able to draft him and see things before everyone else does. Okay, that's huge. All right, so get the 16 rounds. I have to plug it again because I can't express to you how much time and effort I'm putting into helping you guys crush your leagues, making sure your rosters are optimal and you're light years ahead of the competition. Very, very important, okay? Third guy here, now I'm seeing this guy come off very early in drafts, Drake London. When you're looking at wide receivers this year, Drake London is a guy that literally is probably in one of the best positions out of all of them, okay? He's what, 6'4", 6'5", 210 pounds, big wide receiver. Calvin Ridley is not coming back. Kyle Pitts is there. Pitts is a tall guy. He's like 6'6". Drake London is going into a plug-and-play situation, and he's being slept on. Now, again, going back to my 16-round draft solution, laying out, doing mock drafts, I saw Drake London had come off as early as the 4th round. So look for his ADP to rise as people start waking up and realizing, hey, he's the wide receiver 1, and we were drafting Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones in the first and second picks last year, first and second rounds, right? They were both in the top 10 last year. I told you to avoid both, right? So I'm looking at Drake London. I'm saying a good receiver, 7 touchdowns, not the greatest, but over 1,000-yard receiving season last year. He was a first-round pick, guys. Obviously, the Falcons need a wide receiver. Again, plug and play, love the value. Desmond Ridder was drafted in the 3rd round at quarterback. They've got Mariota there, both guys that are not shy throwing the deep ball. Drake London could be a great and is a great deep ball threat there and a red zone target. So is he going to get those receptions you want? Possibly because of the volume, but he will get those touchdowns. He's going to be a safe wide receiver 2, in my opinion, with wide receiver 1 upside, and you can get for value, okay? And I'm telling you, you stash a bunch of these wide receivers on your roster, load up on those running backs early, you've got yourself an amazing roster, right? So Drake London I got coming at number 3, love the upside. Strong receiver, very strong, comes down the ball, very strong. All right, next guy here is James Cook. I've got some question marks about Cook a little bit. Now, he's a round 2 pick, running back for the Buffalo Bills, had himself a good campaign last year, 7 touchdowns. 27 receptions, 284 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. He is a receiving running back, 728 yards on the ground, 5'11", 190. Now, James Cook, you're looking at him out of Georgia. He's going into some competition there with Moss, Singletary. Not very strong competition. Very easily could take that job at RB1. Decent value, sitting 40th on the consensus rankings, give or take. So he's going to be value in drafts. You can get this guy after round? I get this guy after round 7. Okay, I see him coming off round 8 actually in mock drafts. So James Cook, again, I'm aiming high. Typically, he might be slept on. He might not even come off that early, right? But some people are seeing it that, he could be the RB1, so they might jump on him early before the 8th round after. There's some variances, but as of right now, I'm seeing him coming off in and around round 6 to round 8, 9, okay? It varies. So again, James Cook could take that job. But the problem I'm having here is, again, a bit of a committee, and also Josh Allen likes to run the ball a lot. That's a big issue for me when I am looking at a running back. That's why I've avoided Baltimore Ravens running backs for years because of Lamar Jackson, and I've been right because Lamar Jackson likes to run the ball a lot. So does Josh Allen, which may hinder James Cook. And they've got some great receivers. They've got Gabriel Davis. They've got Diggs. They've got some targets there at wide receiver. And again, James Cook could line up as a slot receiver, line up outside. He can catch the ball. So he's got that like Swiss Army knife feel to him, whereas I'm not looking at him thinking, he's going to be a workhorse running back, going to get me 280 rushing attempts, right? That's my hindrance towards him. And I like my running backs to be running a lot. James Cook, again, maybe as a PPR guy with some upside, very, very possible. But I do like him. Don't get me wrong. Just not as my RB1. As my RB5, RB4, possibly with that upside. But very hard to trust these rookies coming in, especially going into a committee with a quarterback that runs the ball a lot, okay? So James Cook, love him, okay? Number 5 here, a lot of people are sleeping on him. And the guys I'm going to mention after could easily finish ahead of this guy. But no one's talking about Alec Pierce, right? So Alec Pierce, one of the best pure deep ball wide receivers out of this draft class, okay? Good wide receiver, 884 yards, 8 touchdowns last year. What I like about him is opportunity. That's the big thing with him, right? He's going into a situation here with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan throws the ball a lot. He doesn't run a lot, so he's going to be doing a lot of passing. Guys, that's the bottom line. He's got a good O-line now. Last year with the Falcons, Matt Ryan got hit a lot, didn't have good protection. And that's what he does the best, is throw a lot. And if you don't have time to throw, how are you supposed to thrive? And he didn't have any wide receivers. Now you've got Pittman, which I like Pittman. He's very expensive. He's coming off in around 3rd, 4th round. A lot of people want the Pittman now. But Matt Ryan's being slept on, which is really odd. People are drafting Michael Pittman, 3rd round. I see him coming off in drafts. And Alec Pierce, he's completely slept on. He's sitting 102nd on the consensus rankings. This is a guy that could finish top 10 amongst wide receivers, actually possibly surpassing Michael Pittman if Matt Ryan, throws to him. Now you're saying, well, Joe, that's crazy. Not really. It's very possible with a guy like Matt Ryan who throws more than anybody else in the league when he gets going. He throws a lot, guys, lots of attempts. Okay, so when I look at a guy like Alec Pierce, I'm seeing a young stud, a young value who's in an opportunity where they don't have any other wide receivers. You could say Campbell's there and all these other guys. He's a 2nd-round pick. They obviously believe in him. They want to give another weapon to Matt Ryan. They did it with Alec Pierce. So again, value, sleeper, stash. He's probably going to go undrafted in your leagues most likely, but a guy that could really, really shine this year with Matt Ryan. I like Alec Pierce, all right? Next guy here is another plug-and-play. Similar to Drake London. Number 6 here, I've got Treylon Burks, round 1 pick. Tennessee Titans have him now. Treylon Burks, good receiver out of college. Again, like the opportunity, but understand, if he's going with the Tennessee Titans, it is a run-first team. Derrick Henry's going to be running crazy, running wild as long as he's healthy. Tannehill does not throw a lot. Kind of a contrast to Matt Ryan. Ryan Tannehill does not throw a lot. Okay, he's going to be handing the ball off a lot. Now, he's getting a lot of criticism for that, right? So he may start throwing the ball a lot more. Who knows? But Treylon Burks is in a plug-and-play position. A.J. Brown shipped off. If you think about it like this, which is absolutely crazy, A.J. Brown was a top 10 wide receiver last year. I said, don't draft him. I don't think the volume is going to be there. It's crazy. Don't invest a 1st-round pick on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown finished 32nd amongst wide receivers. Busted on his ADP completely, right? Mainstream consensus, not a sound out of them, not taking accountability for it. Completely busted, okay? 1st-round pick. By the way, A.J. Brown's 1st round again, which is absolutely ludicrous. It's crazy. Just wild, right? But now you're looking at a guy like Treylon Burks, who's sitting around 36th on the consensus rankings, which means you get him for value. I did some mock drafts yesterday. Where was he coming off of here? He was coming off after the 5th round, 6th round even. So some people going high. I did a bunch of mock drafts. But if you want to average him out in and around the 7th round. So, you have Woods there, who I think could start the season off as the wide receiver 1. But Treylon could come up and emerge. So I'm looking at Treylon Burks here as a guy that could be the wide receiver 1. Because again, Woods, I was never crazy on Robert Woods. Now you've got an opportunity here where Treylon Burks comes in, could be the wide receiver 1, and you get him for immense value. So I'm looking at Treylon Burks. You are literally getting like A.J. Brown for like immense value. That's like literally what you're getting here, okay? So I'm looking at Treylon Burks as a guy that could be immense value this year. I like the value, like the talent, like the opportunity. And I'm excited for Treylon Burks' season as an absolute steal, all right? Let's move on here. We got Christian Watson. Now, Christian Watson, I'm taking a look at him here. I'm seeing the Green Bay Packers without Davante Adams. So I'm seeing a ton of value, and I'm seeing a steal here with Christian Watson, who was drafted in the 2nd round, 6'4", 208 pounds out of North Dakota. Now, when I see this guy, I'm seeing Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's like sleeping on Aaron Rodgers, by the way, now. He could be the RB1 or the wide receiver 1 this year, without a doubt. Now, you've got Lazard there. You've got Aaron Jones, who I think could get integrated a little more this year. So Christian Watson, again, 2nd-round pick. They waited to get him, right? Because they thought he would fall with their 3rd pick. You're like, why aren't they drafting a wide receiver with their 1st pick? Because 6 top wide receivers were drafted before the Packers could get a pick, right? So they're like, Christian Watson will fall. But Watson's sitting 59th on the consensus rankings right now for fantasy. So he's an absolute steal. He might even go like after the 10th round, right? So you're looking at a guy who's probably a plug and play for Aaron Rodgers, who's made Devontae Adams an amazing wide receiver, right? Or vice versa, right? But usually quarterbacks make wide receivers. So 169 targets freed up, 169 targets available. Now, some people are saying, well, Romeo Doubs might do well. He was a 4th-round pick. Could be the one. I doubt it. I think that Watson's the guy, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. And another knock to Christian Watson could be, hey, Aaron Rodgers only likes veteran wide receivers. And that's kind of true as well. He likes to throw to people that he's got that rapport with, but he's got to build rapport if he wants to succeed, and he's got to believe in these rookies and these young guys. So Christian Watson could thrive, good value, major upside, and a lot of freed up targets with Devontae Adams being gone. Love him, okay? Number 8 here, you may not have heard this name yet, but Tyler Algier, right? Workhorse in college, 1,600 plus yards in college, 23 touchdowns, 276 attempts last year. And he can catch the ball, 28 receptions, 199 receiving yards, 6 foot, and what is this guy? Sorry, 5'11", 220. All right, so he is a big guy. Now, the Falcons have him. Falcons drafted him in round 5. Now, round 5 may not sound that appealing, but what I like about Tyler Algier is that he doesn't have a lot of competition. Mike Davis is now off the team. They've got Damian Williams. They got Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson is a steal in his own right. He is a fantasy football sleeper. He did well last year. He got it done in the receiving game and the running game. They may want to work and run him. And also, obviously, the quarterback is suspect too. Mariota likes to run the ball if he's starting, right? But goal line work, beast. I watched some tape. He is actually pretty explosive. Tyler Algier is a sleeper, okay? Tyler Algier, look it up. Is a sleeper for the Falcons, deep sleeper, but it's one of those, like, he could do nothing or he could be like one of the best running backs in the game if they give him the opportunity. Who knows? It's one of those dart throws you stash on the bench and you could be very happy, all right? Number 9 here, Garrett Wilson. Am I absolutely crazy about him? No, because I'm more into Breece Hall, and I think one of them is really going to shine. I don't see both these guys really crushing it. I could be wrong. But Garrett Wilson, 1st-round pick. The Jets did some really good job here with some picks, with some top solid picks with their offense. So they've gotten 2 of the top at their position. Garrett Wilson, round 1, wide receiver, and Breece Hall. They got arguably one of the best wide receivers and running backs in this class. 6 foot, 188 pounds, over 1,000 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns at Ohio State last year. Garrett Wilson could be an easy plug and play. They got Elijah Moore there, but this guy could easily surpass him. I mean, it goes without saying, but again, you're going to pay a little bit more for this guy, 42nd on the consensus rankings. I mean, if you look at a guy like Alex Pierce in a good position with a better quarterback at 102 on the consensus rankings in ranks, Christian Watson sitting 59th on the consensus rankings, right? And he's got a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Then you got Garrett Wilson, an unproven quarterback with Wilson throwing the ball. Garrett Wilson, Zach throwing the ball. It's just like, man, am I going to pay an earlier draft capital for that question mark? That's where I have a bit of an issue, okay? And the last guy here, number 10, and I got a coin toss between who I should put number 10. And there's tons of other guys. There's Chris Olave. I call him Chris Olave. It's kind of funny because it's not Olaf from Frozen. It's Chris Olave, but I'm going to call him Chris Olave. It's just Olave. It looks like Olaf. Okay, so there's Chris Olave. There's a couple other guys that people keep bugging me about. They're like, oh, Joey's going to break out. Dameon Pierce, round 4 from the Texans. I still think he's got some competition there with Marlon Mack there. Again, the guy I'm going here is Isaiah Spiller, though, at 10, after all those names I mentioned. And you could say, well, Dameon Pierce has a better opportunity. Very possible, but Isaiah Spiller is going into a committee with Austin Eckler, 4th-round pick, currently sitting 53rd on the consensus rankings. Isaiah Spiller is a guy that could be the RB1 on that team. And again, he's got some knocks to him in college. Sometimes they call him sluggish. And the guy is, when I looked at his tape, he doesn't look as explosive as a Breece Hall, but he does run violently when he runs. He carries defenders on him. He looks like a strong running back. Again, I'm looking at him as a stash, as a guy who could take Eckler's spot, because if you guys remember, some people in fantasy, or a lot of people in fantasy, have a very short-term memory. Austin Eckler was a backup to Melvin Gordon. Okay, hear me out. I want you guys to stick with me on this thought process, okay? People are drafting Austin Eckler round 1. Okay, they're drafting Javonte Williams round 1. All right, that's cool. I get it. Javonte Williams is a young guy. He's up and coming, right? He could be the guy. Melvin Gordon is like completely off people's radars. People might draft him after the 5th, 6th round. They might stash Melvin Gordon, right? He actually had the same amount of attempts as Javonte Williams, both 203 apiece. In fact, Melvin Gordon had 8 touchdowns, and he's a pest. He's coming back, okay? Melvin Gordon is actually better than Austin Eckler because Melvin Gordon started over Austin Eckler for several years. So you guys are completely disregarding the young Isaiah Spiller because Austin Eckler, and drafting Austin Eckler round 1, but you're drafting Javonte Williams round 1 and completely ignoring Melvin Gordon, who's better than Austin Eckler. But now you're saying, well, Joe, Austin Eckler has proven he's done really well in fantasy. He's the wide receiver 1. He's solidified. I mean, he's that running back 1. He solidified that spot, and all that makes sense. Yes, and I'm not saying Isaiah Spiller is going to beat Austin Eckler or Javonte Williams and all that. I just stick with the thought process here. All I'm saying is just stash Isaiah Spiller. That's it. Stash him. Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if he busts, that's okay because you got him for nothing. All I'm saying is fade Eckler, stash Spiller, and see what happens. Because there's a ton of other running backs I like over Austin Eckler, who's a guy that just doesn't get it done in the volume game, all right? So that's my strategy. That's my plan. That's my suggestion. It's up to you guys to make that decision, all right? So Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Drake London, James Cook, Alec Pierce. Some people call him Alex, but it's Alec Pierce. Treylon Burks, Christian Watson, Tyler Algier, Garrett Wilson, and Isaiah Spiller. And like I said, there's a ton of other running backs and wide receivers, even quarterbacks that could break out. Jelani Woods, round 3, Colts. There's so many sleepers, guys. I go over all this in the 16-round draft session. I can't give away all my secrets. Get it below, guys, but there's a ton of value here. Make sure you guys target these guys for amazing values and steals, and these guys could all finish in the top 10 easily. Not all of them, but some of these guys could easily finish in the top 10 at their respective position in fantasy. All right, guys? Subscribe, thumbs up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Top 10 rookie rankings for fantasy football 2022. These are the guys I like. Let me know who you like below. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.